Ever wonder how to persuade your boss into giving you that raise? Or how to have more people subscribe to your favorite music band? Well, Chapter 10 of the Excellence in Business Communication book will help you create a persuasive message that will, quote unquote, get you what you want. To begin, there's a 3-step plan on how to make a persuasive message. Step 1. Planning a persuasive message. Some good or service go unnoticed simply because the message used to explain it isn't compelling enough. Creating a successful persuasive message demands careful attention to all 4 tasks in the planning step. The first of the 4 is to analyze the situation. You have to make sure that your response is well defined to gain their support. But what exact support are you looking for? Do you want them to pat you on the back and wish you well? Or do you want them to give you a staff of 5 researchers and a $1 million annual budget? No matter the support, you have to make sure you know who your audience is, their needs, what you want them to do, consider the resistance, and many more. Look at your audience's demographics, which are their age, gender, occupation, income, education, and other quantifiable characteristics of the people you're trying to persuade. There is also psychographics, which are personality, attitudes, lifestyle, and other psychological characteristics. Also take into account their cultural expectations and practices so that you don't undermine your persuasive message. If your aim is to change your audience's attitudes, beliefs, or actions, it is vital to tap into their motivation or a combination of forces that drive people to satisfy their needs. For example, if you try to persuade consumers to purchase a product on the basis of its fashion appeal, that message will connect with consumers who are motivated by desire to be in style, but it probably won't connect with consumers driven by functional or financial concerns. Next, you need to gather information. Once your situation analysis is complete, you need to gather the information necessary to create a compelling, persuasive message. You'll learn more about the types of information to include in persuasive business messages and marketing and sales message later in this video. Next is to select the right medium. Persuasive messages can be found on virtually every communication medium, from instant messages and podcasts to radio advertisements and skywriting. In some situations, some consumers will prefer different types of media of the same message. There are shoppers in person and shoppers online. Some don't mind emails while others like paperwork. If you can't decide on what medium to use on an audience, it's best to use 2 or more types of mediums, such as an email campaign with printed letters. Next is organizing your information. The most important thing about a persuasive message, it is about the receiver and not the sender. For instance, if you're trying to convince others to join you in a business venture, explain how it will help them, not how it will help you. For persuasive businesses, the choice between the direct and indirect approaches is also influenced by the extent of your authority, expertise, or power in an organization. The next step is writing a persuasive message. Encourage a positive response by using positive and polite language, understanding and respecting cultural differences, being sensitive to organizational cultures, and by taking steps to establish credibility. When you're trying to persuade a skeptical or hostile audience, credibility is essential. You must convince people that you know what you're talking about and that you're not trying to mislead them. Use these techniques in making the message. Use simple language to avoid suspicions of fantastic claims and emotional manipulation. Provide objective evidence for the claims and promise you make. Be objective and present fair and logical arguments. Display your willingness to keep your audience's best interests at heart, and there's many, many more. Lastly, completing a persuasive message. Now that you have written your message, have other people, friends or professionals, review your work and see what needs to be fixed. When you evaluate your content, try to judge your argument objectively and not overestimate your credibility. In addition, meticulous proofreading will help you identify any mechanical or spelling errors that would weaken your persuasive potential. Finally, make sure your distribution methods for your audience expectations and preferences. With the 3-step model in mind, you're ready to begin composing persuasive messages, starting with the persuasive business messages.
Effective strategies for developing persuasive business messages. Effective persuasion involves 4 essential strategies: framing your arguments, balancing emotional and logical appeals, reinforcing your position, and anticipating objections. Framing your arguments. Most persuasive messages use the indirect approach. Experts in persuasive communication have developed a number of indirect models for such messages. One of the best known is the IDA model, which organizes messages into 4 phases: attention, interest, desire, and action. An emotional appeal calls on the audience feelings and sympathies rather than facts, figures, and rational arguments. The words such as success, prestige, compassion, security, and comfort, such words can put your audience members in a positive frame of mind and help them accept your message. A logical appeal calls on reasoning and evidence. The basic approach with logical appeal is to make a claim based on rational argument supported by solid evidence. When appealing to your audience's logic, you might use the 3 types of reasoning. Analogy: you reason from specific evidence to specific evidence, in effect, borrowing from something familiar to explain something unfamiliar. Induction: you work from specific evidence to a general conclusion. Deduction: you work from a generalization to a specific conclusion. Every method of reasoning is vulnerable to misuse, both intentional and unintentional, so verify your rational arguments carefully. To guard against faulty logic, follow these guidelines. Avoid hasty generalization, avoid circular reasoning, avoid attacking an opponent, avoid oversimplifying a complex issue, avoid mistaken assumptions of cause and effect, avoid faulty analogies, avoid illogical support. After you've worked out the basic elements of your argument, step back and look for ways to bolster the strength of your position. Examine individual word choices and consider using metaphors and other figures of speech. Anticipating objections. Even powerful persuasive messages can encounter resistance from the audience. Present all sides of an issue. Expect to encounter strong resistance. The 3 most common examples of persuasive business messages are requests for action, presentations of ideas and claims, and requests.
Writing promotional messages for social media. The ADA model and similar approaches has been successful with marketing and sales messages for decades. But in the social media landscape, consumers are more apt to look for product information from other consumers, not the companies marketing those products. Facilitate community buildings. Give customers and other audiences an opportunity to connect with you and one another, such as on your Facebook page or through members-only online forums. Listen at least as much as you talk. Listening is just as essential for online conversations as it is for in-person conversations. Initiate and respond to conversation within the community. Through content on your website, blog postings, social network profiles and messages, newsletters, and other tools, make sure you provide the information customers need in order to evaluate your products and services. Identify and support your champions. In marketing, champions are enthusiastic fans of your company and its products. Champions are so enthusiastic they help spread your message through their blogs, for instance, defend you against detractors, and help other customers use your products.
Be real. In contrast, if a company is serving its stakeholders poorly with shoddy products, bad customer service, or unethical behavior that attempt to improve its reputation by adopting social media without fixing the underlying problems, is likely to fail as soon as audiences see through the superficial attempt to be social.
Integrate conventional marketing and sales strategies at the right time and in the right places. ADA and similar approaches are still valid for specific communication tasks, such as conventional advertising and the product promotion pages on your website. Creating promotional messages for mobile devices. The 2 hottest developments in marketing communications are mobile advertising and mobile commerce. Mobile advertising is already a multi-billion-dollar business, with 70% of those ads spent on Google and Facebook. The types of marketing and sales messages created for mobile audience range from short, simple text ads that appear next to search engine results to mobile optimized video, the most common form of content marketing in the mobile arena. Keep two essential points in mind. First, like all mobile messages, promotional messages need to be kept short and simple. Second, the mobile experience needs to be fast and straightforward.
Writing conventional marketing and sales messages. Conventional marketing and sales messages are often prepared using the AIDA model or some variation of it. Here are the key points of using the AIDA model for these messages. First, getting the reader's attention. By looking and listening during any given day, you will notice the many ways advertisers try to get your attention. Depending on the medium, marketers can use evocative images, music, animation, or video. Second, building interest. After catching the reader's or viewer's attention, your next step is to build interest in the product, company, or idea you are promoting. A common technique is to pay off the promise made in the headline by explaining how you can deliver those benefits. Third, increasing desire. Now that you have given the audience some initial information to start building the interest, the next step is to boost their desire for the product by expanding on your explanation of how it will benefit them. And lastly, motivating action. The final step in the AIDA model is persuading the audience to take action, such as encouraging people to pick up the phone to place an order or visit an online app store to download your software. Maintaining the high standards of ethics, legal compliance, and etiquette. The word persuasion has negative connotation for some people, especially in a marketing or sales context. However, ethical business people view persuasion as a positive force, aligning their own interests with what is best for their audience. For all marketing and sales efforts, pay close attention to the following legal considerations. First, marketing and sales messages must be truthful and non-deceptive. The FTC considers messages to be deceptive if they include statements that are likely to mislead reasonable customers, and the statements are an important part of the purchasing decision. Second, you must back up your claims with evidence. According to the FTC, offering a money-back guarantee or providing letters from satisfied customers is not enough. You must still be able to support claims for your product with objective evidence. Third, bait-and-switch advertising is illegal. Trying to attract buyers by advertising a product that you don't intend to sell and then trying to sell them another product is illegal. Fourth, marketing messages and websites aimed at children are subject to special rules. For example, online marketers must obtain consent from parents before collecting personal information about children under age 13. Fifth, marketing and sales messages are considered binding contracts in many states. If you imply or make an offer and then can't fulfill your end of the bargain, you can be sued for breach of your contract. And last, in most cases, you can't use a person's name, photograph, or other identity without permission. Doing so is considered an invasion of privacy.